The Classical Style by Charles Roson.
Structure and ornament. 4 movements sonata form.
The first movement sonata form is the most common form, consisting of 2 sections with a symmetrical resolution.
This form is characterized by harmonic tension and rhythmic animation. The slow movement sonata form is a symmetrical resolution with no development. This form is less common than the first movement sonata form.
The minuet sonata form is in 2 parts, always in 3 phrases, and often part of a larger ternary ABA form. This form is characterized by a relaxed character.
The finale sonata form is loosely organized and resolves the tensions of the entire work.
This form has a greater range of patterns than any other movement.